Hello.
Hello.
We're on 9.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's a really short class. You'll do it in 10 minutes flat.
Okay, I'm not complaining.
Now, Anna spoke with Miriam Teichman.
Oh, you did. I was going to call her later. Yeah, what you have to say?
Anna says she's still in shock. I don't know. She must have known,
It's a few months.
but she was in bad shape.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Difficult to imagine. I kept every Shabbos I walked with him, a few blocks together.
Yeah.
He was always a complainer and
Right. Yeah, negative. Very negative.
yeah. Hello, Rami.
Chag Sameach.
Yeah.
I spoke to Miriam Teichman today.
Yeah, Anna also.
I was 75 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Oh, Harold. His name
Yeah.
is Ben Kalonimos Kalman.
Yeah, I know. Glenn was. I know. Yeah.
Your father's name, no?
Exactly. Yes. No, my grandfather. My grandfather.
Your grandfather.
Yitzchak ben Kloinemis Kalman.
Right. And now the Yitzi has one. Yitzi's son is Kloinim is Kalman.
Wow. Okay. We're on Tesomad Aleph. Tomorrow we'll learn at 3:30. Okay?
What? 3:30?
3:30, yeah. That gives us some time.
Okay.
So we're discussing this machlokas between the Chachamim and Rav Meir, whether you need 3 or 23. So Rav Ashi Omar Kigon, the Asr Bei Malchus, V'lo Asr Bei Ketol. That the Hasra did not include telling them that you're going to be put to death. They just said Malchus. So there, if the Hasra did not mention the death penalty, then perhaps you don't need 23. It's totally in the machlokas. U'kamiflagi beplukta Rav Yishmael and the Chachamim. Makos b'shloisha, the Chachamim said for a Beis Din to adjudicate a case where the punishment is Malchus, you only need 3 dayanim. Rav Yishmael Amru be'esrim. Since when you give somebody Malchus, he could die. You have to, according to Rabbi Shmuel, you need 23. So if you hold like the Chachamim, it would be 3. But if you hold like Rabbi Shmuel, it would be 23. Ravina Amar Kagon Shanim Tzarech Ben Eidim. That one of the Eidim that came to testify about the girl, that she was not a Bethula, was Karav or Puzzle. Was either a relation to the aid, or to the family, or Puzzle, or like the gambler. But there are 2 extra Eidim, right? There were 3 Eidim. One of them was Puzzle, 2 of them were Kosher. Commitfulgi bepluked Rabbi Yosef Rabbi. And this is totally in this machlokas between Rabbi Yosef and Rabbi. I'll leave it Rabbi Kiva. What is that? Rabbi Kiva Oimer. The Torah says Shnayim Eidim or Shlosha Eidim. Now, if 2 Eidim work, then why does the Torah have to tell us you need 3 Eidim? So Rabbi Meir learns Lo bo hashlishi el achmer alav. The shlishi was mentioned to give us a chumrah. Walter Chag Sameach, we're on Tes Amud Aleph. That if the Torah said you need 2 Eidim, why does it say you need 3 Eidim? Certainly 3 would work if 2 works. The Rav Meir says the word shlishi comes to be machmir. Lasos dina kiyotze be'elu. So, for example, if 2 of the Eidim are found to be zomimim, the 3rd aid cannot get out of the death penalty by saying, I wasn't involved in that. Because the aidis was completed with the 2 Eidim that, were in Disneyland at 1 o'clock on Monday. So you got to be careful with who you give testimony with. And Rabbi Kiva learned here a general principle. Someone who was just dragged along got punished. Like the person who did the Avera. So if you tag along with people that are doing mitzvahs, alachas kama v'kama, says Rabbi Kiva, you're going to get reward. Because a midah toiva is greater than a midah piranus. And we learned something else by talking about 2 and 3 Eidim. Let's say 2 Eidim show up, and one of them is a posel dika aid or a relative. Harei edusam b'tema, because you're only left with 1 good aid. The chiddush is af shlosha. Let's say 3 Eidim come, and one of them nimsa echad mem karvo posel edusam b'tema. Even though if you get rid of that 1 aid who was a karov or a posel, you're left with 2 good Eidim. Since they came as a group, it's considered like 1 Eidus, and it's all rejected. If 100 Eidim showed up, and one of them was a Korv or Puzzle, we reject the whole Eidus. Talmud Lemer Eidim. That's the sheet of Rabbi Kiva. And this, in fact, is the Machlokas. All right, when do we say that even though a lot of Eidim showed up, if one of them is found to be korv or puzzle, the whole thing is bottle. That's bedina nefashos. That's with capital crimes, where there's a death penalty. Aval bedine mominus, tiskayim edus b'shar. So, when it comes to monetary law, if you had 3 edim testify, one of them was a carver puzzle, it's okay because you have 2 edim ksherim. Rabbi Yomer echad dine mominus v'echad dine nefashos. It's all puzzle if one of them is found to be carved. So Rabbi Yossi is matir there. Ve'emasai. When does Rabbi say that one aid will ruin it for everybody, whether it's dine mominus or dine nefashos? Bisman shehisru behen. That, remember, at the time that you give warning to the person doing the Aveira, the people who did the warning was also these Eidim Apsulim, because they gave notice that they're going to testify. Ava Bisman Shelo Yisru Behen. If the Eidim Psulim, if the invalid Eidim were not part of the group that gave us straw, then it's not a problem. And here's the Gemara's proof. Mayasu shnei achim ve'echad sharo be'echad shahargas hanefesh. Monday afternoon, 1 p.m., Reuven and Shimon, who are brothers, and Chaim Yankel, a third party, they all are there and they see Levi kill Yehuda. Now, the 2 brothers were there, they saw it. Now, but one of the brothers and the other that's not a relative, can give proper asra and give edus and put this guy to death. So, according to Rabbi, this would be a good asra, and you'd have to adjudicate it with 23. But Rav Yossi, since it was an 8 puzzle and it validates everything, it's only dine mominus and not dine nefashos, and you'd only need 3 instead of 23. The boy saying the Gemara will give us another explanation as to the machlokes between Rabbi and the Chachamim, whether you need 3 or 23, by the case of the Motzi Shemer. There were people who gave warning, but they were not the original Eidim. The Eidim that eventually gave testimony as to what they saw were different people than the one who gave the Asra. This is a machlokas Rabbi Yosef Rabbana. Rabbi Yosef Yomer Lo'elamenu Neragat Shupi Shnei Edom. I'm asking them. The same Eidim that are giving testimony in front of Bezdin have to be the same very people who gave us Rosh. And them al Pishnai Meidim, O Shoshaidim Yumasames. So Rabbi Meir is like Rabbi Yossi. So since the Eidim didn't give us Rosh, there's no capital crime, it's only mominus. The Chachamim hold like the Chachamim who argue with Rabbi Yossi, where even if somebody else gave Dasra, you can adjudicate a death penalty case. The Gemara wants to give another hesber, another explanation as to the machlokes Rabbi and the Chachamim. Iboy Seima, the iskachas b'bdikos lo iskachas b'chakiros. The b'dikos are the details of the guy used a knife, the guy used a rope, the guy used an axe. The chakiros are the more fundamental questions regarding time and place. Time and place. I always think about it like Einstein. If you know the velocity of an electron, you don't know its place. Basically, time and place. Because that is how you would be mazim edim. If you don't know where you remember, Adim Zomim is going to say, "Oh, at Monday at 1 o'clock, you were with us in Disneyland. You weren't at Third and La Brea." So the Chakira is time and place. The Bedika is all the details. The Kamiflagi, the Plukta, the Ben Zakkai, and the Chachami. Ma'isa Ubadik Ben Zakkai be'uptzei te'eni. Ben Zakkai investigated the Aden regarding the ukitz of the fig. The ukitz is the connection between the fruit and the tree. And this somehow it was involved in the detail about some event that occurred. And he found that there was a stira, a contradiction between what they said about the ukitz. And he wanted to puzzle their edus. So according to Rav Meir, the halach is like Ben Zakkai. And so since there was a minor difference between the edim regarding the testimony about the Motzi Shemra, so you would reject it. So according to Rav Meir, there would not be a dinei nefashos. There was only be mominus. You only need 3. According to Chachamim, this type of minor contradiction in the detail does not puzzle the edus. So it remains dinei nefashos. You'd need 23. Okay. So we analyzed in detail this case of Motzi Shemra. We're going to go into some other details. Rav Yosef, maybe abal edim shezinsa. The husband, the morning after the wedding, brings edim that she had committed adultery after he had given her kiddushin. Vehevi avedim vizumim lady abal. The father brings edim that said that those edim that the husband brought, they were with us in Disneyland. Edi abol nerogim. So if no edim zomim would have shown up, the testimony of those edis would have caused that woman to be taken out and killed through stealing. So now that these were found to be edim zomim, you do what to the edim what they wanted to do to this woman. But ein mishal min mamon. If you're going to be given a death penalty, you get off on the monetary payment. Because with their testimony, not only would she be put to death, but she would lose her ksupa. But you don't. There's no double jeopardy in halacha. You don't give them 2 punishments. You give them the worst punishment, but the easier punishment goes away. The principle of give him the worst punishment of the 2. Now a third set of, now we're talking about 3 sets of edim. First set of edim comes and say that she was mezaneh. Second group of edim says, no, they were with us in Disneyland. Third group comes to say, what do you mean they were, how could they be in Disneyland? They were with us in Palm Springs. So the second group that tried to tell a falsehood on the first good, that's the Eidi Ahab, they're rocking. So they're put to death because they tried to cause the first pair of Edim to be put to death. And Mishal min Mamon, there they do have to pay. Because as part of that initial testimony, if the Edim were false, the husband would have had to pay 100 mea kesef as a knas. Now, how come in that case they get killed and the Baal pays money? Because nafshes lezen, mammon lezen. It's not the same people who were in the first case. They would have to be put to death, and they have to pay money. That we don't do because Kimmel and Rabbi. Over here, one party is being put to death, the other party is paying money. That's fine. There's no Kim Levi Rabbi in that case. Vam Rav Yosef. Ploini Rava. Lo so. a man comes and says, this guy raped me homosexually. So Harehu, the Acher, Mitzdarfin. Even though he's Nogea B'Dovar, but he and another party who saw it happen can serve as the Eidim on the guy who homosexually raped this guy, Lahargo, to put him to death. However, if this second witness says that, yes, this guy who was raped looked like he was enjoying it, he wasn't forced to do it. So that guy who was committing the homosexual act, Beratzon, is a Rashu. Because he's giving testimony that he was over in Avera. V'atayra Amra al Tashis Rasha Aid. You're not allowed to make yourself a Rasha. So there we would not accept, he would not be put to death because we don't accept his testimony. But Rava Amar, Adam Koravet Salatzma, not for the reason that he's making himself a Rasha, different Svara. He's a relative to himself. Just like we wouldn't accept testimony from one of his relatives. So we can't give testimony, he can't accept testimony from himself. Ein Adam Mesim Atzma Rasha. But he's not making himself a Rasha, he's making the other guy a Rasha. So it's a good Eidus, and we accept it. But the part that he says that he did it willingly, there's no Eidus on that because we don't accept Eidus to make yourself a Rasha. And that part, we don't puzzle him in his own testament. So the halacha is, somebody gives testimony that he was raped, but he says that he did it with his own will. He and somebody else are mitzvah to kill the guy who raped him. Shein adam mesim atzmo rasha, vein adam nifsal b'chol psul kishemeid al atzmo she'over avera elo pishnayim edim ksherim. To make, he won't be killed, but the guy will be killed. The Ramah says we shouldn't use his testimony at all. Okay. Tomorrow we're going to learn at 3:30.
But we don't paskin like that. The halacha is that he can become an aid against the guy who raped him.
The other guy, not against himself.
But the other guy can get to the other guy can get killed on his aidus.
Ramah says we don't use him as a name. The Shulchan Aruch says we do use him as a name.
We do use it. I see that they do paskin that you can use him as a name.
But not Lefia Ramah.
Yeah.
Okay, tomorrow 3:30.
Okay.
Later.
Oh, yeah.
Mario, bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.